Good evening and welcome, everyone. We're going to get started in about a minute or so. Good evening, everyone. All right, it's 6:02. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us for our Q4 HNLY membership town hall meeting. This town hall meeting is open to current and interested members. The theme for tonight's meeting is finding your HLNY to really tap into your individual reasons for joining this network of healthcare executives. Tonight's agenda is as follows: introductions, committee highlights, membership message, past president message, HLNY elections, HLNY programs and events, Q&A, and closing, which will help to provide some key information to you about the services HLNY can offer and what you have in store for the rest of the year. Tonight's town hall is interactive as best as we can in a virtual setting. Please pose questions that you have in the Q&A section. At any time, you can share questions, ideas, and thoughts. Please share them in the Q&A portion. Questions will be responded to, if possible, in real time. Please note this town hall will be recorded and made available online. Healthcare Leaders of New York is the local ACHE chapter. As such, we provide healthcare leaders a venue for networking, education, mentoring, and career development. Our mission is to advance healthcare leadership, management excellence through professional enrichment and continuing education for our members. On behalf of the HLNY board, I would like to thank our sponsors for their continued support and engagement. Your generosity allows us to help underwrite the cost of many of our educational and networking events. If interested in becoming a sponsor of HLNY, please reach out to sponsors@hlny.org. Our HLNY board is composed of 6 elected officers, plus our ACHE regent. The vice president and secretary positions are 1-year terms. The treasurer position is a 2-year term, and the presidency position is a 3-year term. President-elect, president, and immediate past president. Our board members at large serve as liaisons for areas they represent and serve on the board in the program and other committees as needed. Our board includes a clinical advisor, a clinical inclusion advisor, senior executive engagement advisor, who work very closely with the board on clinical and senior executive membership engagement and potential initiatives. Our board is comprised of several committee members and chairs who work integrally to ensure HNY members' needs are being met. None of the work we can do will be accomplished without the support of our HNY committee members and volunteers. On behalf of the board, we thank you and we appreciate you. Now we will hear from a few of our committee chairs who will share what their committee's purpose is and some of the accomplishments this year thus far. With that, I will turn it over to Ben. Ben?
Thank you, Carl Marie, for this opening. At this time, I would like to share some purpose goals about the Advancement Committee and some of our recent accomplishments throughout the year. My name is Ben Gren-Mogan. I'm the chair of the Advancement Committee, and our purpose is really to support members that are eligible to advance or recertify as a fellow. And we also support coordinating resources and educational activities in collaboration with various committees on the board. And in terms of volunteer services, or any other support that we can provide from a board perspective, from a committee perspective, we support members in that endeavor, such as letters of reference. We also outreach to members about any special events, such as board, if we offer any course preparation for the exam, we do some concierge outreach. We respond to individuals that have specific concerns about becoming a fellow or recertifying. We also communicate what the FACHI requirements are. They are explicitly stated on the ACHE website, but we continue to receive a lot of concerns and questions locally, and we respond to those concerns as well. We also attend external events with other organizations, again, to promote the FACHI credential. In terms of goals for 2024, one of our main goals was really to increase the percentage of HLNY members that are fellows relative to the chapter at large. We also conduct concierge outreach, as I mentioned, and we also recognize new and recertifying fellows, and I'll talk about that in our accomplishments on the next slide. So one of our first accomplishments was really the structure of our committee, and we have a diverse representation or a combination of HLNY fellows and non-fellows, and they're dedicated to support members in their FACHI journey. Without this group, a lot of the work and accomplishments for this year would not be possible. So huge thank you to Anne-Marie McDonald, Navesh Kindayil, and Kevin Leo in supporting and being dedicated to the Advancement Committee. So that was our first accomplishment, really getting this board structure together so we can conduct our work for the year. Next slide. Our inaugural virtual town hall was earlier this year in August, where we reviewed and selected 4 executives who are fellows, and they were able to share their journey and experience with our HLNY members. I should mention there was 3 fellows, and Kevin Leo served a unique purpose in terms of he's an aspiring fellow, and he was able to really go through the steps that are required to becoming a fellow as he's going through that process himself. Next slide. During the month of August, we also celebrated our fellows in the chapter. So the DEI committee and the Advancement Committee, we worked together and reviewed nominations for 8 fellows throughout the month of August. You may have seen those posted on LinkedIn or the HLNY website for reference. And we kicked off the spotlight with our HLNY president, Carl Marie, who really initiated the vision for this committee. And we also recognize other FACI members as well throughout the entire month of August. The next accomplishment was the prep course. This course has served to be instrumental in individuals that are really focused on passing the Board of Governors exam and ensuring that they have adequate preparation. And Walter Dussador did a phenomenal job really going through the 10 various topic areas on the exam. And we just had that prep course offered September 28th. And this is a course that we're anticipating offering again in 2025. And lastly, but before we wrap up this committee and the work that we do, there's a lot of ongoing activities. We still have more work to do through the rest of the year. One of which is to publish in the Healthcare Executive magazine. We're currently working with the DEI committee to prepare an article to showcase not only our recent successes, but some of what went into putting these events together to ensure that they were successful and that they enhanced member engagement. And lastly, in terms of ongoing activities, we continue to outreach to members who are seeking advancement or recertification. We continue to collaborate with other committees around any fellow-related events. And we're also seeking committee members for 2025. And lastly, in closing, I would like to say that as a committee, we're fully dedicated to support individuals throughout their process up to leading to convocation at ACHE during Congress, and also supporting individuals further along in their journey as recertifying fellows. So thank you for your time today. And at this time, I will pass it to Danielle.
Thank you, Ben. The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee has a few different roles within HLNY. As a committee, we are definitely responsible for really making sure that we have our monthly spotlights as far as identifying and contacting healthcare leaders that are based on the diversity calendar and clinical weekly or monthly awareness. In addition, the committee assists with nominating the Diversity Leader Award recipient. This award is usually given to the winner at mini Congress. And the committee also coordinates with the speakers for the diversity panel during mini Congress. The DEI committee also has the privilege of collaborating and partnering with affiliate organizations such as the National Association for Latino Healthcare Executives and the National Association of Health Service Executives. And the next few slides, we will show how we were able to meet our goals and a few committee highlights for the year. So due to the committee's commitment and successful execution of significant diversity and inclusion efforts within the chapter, community, and healthcare management field, HLNY was one of the 5 chapters selected to receive the ACHE Region at Large Award. The committee also worked along with many of the HLNY committees to suggest diverse speakers for the HLNY programs. In addition to the committee having successfully spotlighted 21 diverse healthcare leaders, a new initiative for this year, as Ben mentioned, was to work with the Advancement Committee for FACHE Spotlights, which was successfully completed in August. As Ben mentioned, we were able to help with 8 different spotlights. Next slide, please. A highlight for the committee is working with the affiliate organizations to plan and host the Better Together event. And the support of all the organizations made the event a huge success. This year, the Westchester Medical Center Health Network was the winner of the Diversity Leader Award. And the committee chose the topic of understanding implicit bias and impact on healthcare leaders. With this thought-provoking panel, we really had a great way to conclude Mini Congress. And overall, the hard work and the dedication of the DEI committee is truly appreciated. Thanks. And we'll hand it over to the Gala committee.
Hi everyone, my name is Trisha. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Gala committee. So the Gala is an event that happens every year. It's HLNY's largest event, and it is an event to celebrate our esteemed colleagues who are selected for several types of awards. As a committee, we are here to collaborate with board members as well as other committees and vendors to plan for and execute on the event. This involves ensuring that sponsors and members are engaged for each new season, creating event materials that are shown the day of event, as well as marketing for the event. And every year we've got a couple of goals that we try to meet, many of them including exceeding or meeting the prior year's gala attendance, improving committee workflows since it takes quite a team to pull off a gala, improving and promoting both sponsor and member engagement, and promoting our scholarship and poster competition winners, which for this year, the poster competition was actually a new event. So what have we accomplished this year? Here you'll see some images of our annual journal, as well as our awardee for this year. So sponsorship. We successfully worked with our lovely sponsorship committee and the board to engage with and confirm 30 sponsors for 2024. For our marketing, we implemented social media countdowns as well as new banner promotions for our awardees in partnership with our wonderful marketing committee. Attendance of this year's gala was 220 attendees. And our committee workflows, we work every year with a couple of repeat folks, and we confirmed that this year we did improve our workflow based on both our volunteer input as well as some attendees who joined. Next slide, please. All right, so here you can see some of the interactions that our volunteers have, our very large volunteer team, and some of the networking opportunities that they had when they weren't working at the table for us. So what kind of volunteering opportunities do you have with our committee? We've got committee volunteers, so we've got about 2 spots for that. And these volunteers work with us to build up to the day of. They help us set up the gala presentations, build the gala journal that you saw, collect and organize all of the information with our vendors, and collaborate with the committees to make sure that everything runs smoothly the day of. Day of Gala volunteers, which is the very large group you see towards the top. We have about 7 volunteers in addition to our committee volunteers, and those volunteers really help with the registration. They get to see all of the attendees face to face, get to see some faces, and get to introduce themselves early on so that later on they can maybe follow up with them, meet them up via the network during the cocktail hour, which it goes right into some of the opportunities that our volunteers have. We've gotten great feedback hearing from them saying that they met someone during registration that they got to follow up on later and make a connection later on. They've connected with their close volunteer team, a team of 7, which is a little larger than your standard volunteer event team, and you work with them throughout the whole day. And you get to learn a little bit about event operations and a little bit of background behind organizational operations. So that is the overall summary of what it would be to work with and volunteer with our gala committee.
Thanks, Trisha. Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Velzen. I'm the chair of our membership committee. I'll just give a quick overview. Our membership committee really is responsible for maintaining and understanding our current HLNY roster, those who are a part of our chapter, really understanding from the information we have around our membership, what organizations are they coming from, what are their interests, how long have they been engaging in the organization. We really strive to continue to grow and of course retain our membership with different interventions and working across the different committees to recommend programming and serving the needs of our members. The most important thing is to engage with the membership and to really elicit the voice of the membership to understand what those needs are. This year we had several goals, obviously, to grow our membership. This year ambitiously to 2,100. We are the largest chapter of the ACHE. We want to maintain that standing. We've been maintaining our roster dashboard, looking at those metrics regularly. And we did want to put in place different forums like this town hall, engaging with our membership through the survey that we conducted earlier this year, which I'll tell you more about, and really testing initiatives to help to grow that membership and engage more meaningfully. As I referenced earlier this year, we actually had our first inaugural membership town hall, also a virtual town hall. This was well attended. We had 196 registrations, 96 attendees. I want to thank Michael Gatto, as well as Dr. Lewis Marshall, for conceiving the idea to host something like this to really help inform and dialogue with the members about what they'd like for the organization. So we really set off in February, got great feedback. Folks found that very helpful. We wanted to organize this one now at the end of the year as well to also share a little bit of how we took your feedback and enacted changes. This year, we also did a renewal campaign to ensure that we kept our members. In April, there is a drop-off with individual members who have not paid their dues. So we did a lot of marketing campaigns to help prevent that drop-off, really focusing as well on our student members to convert to full membership. We were very successful to actually reduce that drop by 10%, kind of halving the anticipated drop-off rate that we typically see. A part of that communication campaign was also creating these testimonials for LinkedIn, where we could highlight several of our key leaders as well as committee members who have found their HLNYs in participating and volunteering with the organization. I want to thank the marketing committee. As you'll have seen from a lot of the initiatives and work that the various committees do, we push that information out to the membership. We engage with you all through our marketing committee as well. So thanks, Mutaka and Halim, for your leadership in that committee. The membership survey that we put out at the beginning of the year, we had a fun raffle to encourage participation. We ultimately had 171 respondents. This is just a little view of some of the feedback that we were able to elicit from those responses that we have already made changes to improve and to take your ideas forward. Some of the feedback was around planning mixers, a little bit more facilitated networking, also to keep things a little bit casual and to focus on programming and events outside of the New York City area, specifically Long Island and Queens were called out. So you'll see we did act on those. We have planned some helpful networking opportunities, as well as earlier in the year, we had these 8 tips for networking that the committee put together and put out on LinkedIn as well. Some of you may have participated in our first regional mixer, which took place in Long Island, Queens area just last week, I believe it was. This is a picture. We went for a more casual approach. It was a wonderful opportunity to connect with our Long Island members, and it was well received. We hope to continue doing events like these into the future. I'm going to segue from kind of sharing a little bit about what our committee's been working on to actually provide the membership update for all of you. How are we tracking in terms of that growth of our membership to 2,100? Well, as of the end of last month, we have 1,913 members. Not quite there yet, but we do have several months left in the year. We are still ranked #1 out of the 76 chapters of the ACHE, with our membership reflected here, primarily full members, 12% student membership, 12% fellows. Where do we represent? Well, we of course have most of our members from the New York County, but we have many members in Long Island and Queens area, as well as Westchester and above. Really, this is our roster. This reflects our membership. This is just the top 15 counties here. But I am curious, we have a poll. If you want to, Samia, launch our first poll. Out of kind of where all of you who are on the town hall, where you are coming from, where would you recommend that we actually target our next regional mixer? Obviously outside of Manhattan. Considering our membership is reflected in these different areas, where would you like to see a regional mixer? I'm from Astoria, so I'm going to vote Queens. Did you get the results? The results are in. Queens went, I think we tilted that a little bit. 30% for Queens, 26% for another event in Nassau, 26% also for Westchester. Fantastic. This was really informative. And if you have any other ideas about those mixers, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A or the chat. Titles. Our organization represents any range of different roles in our healthcare organizations. We have a lot of middle to upper leadership, 25% or more here, 24% at the director level. Another quarter of our membership reflects really the C-suite, vice president and above leadership roles as well. So it's been a fantastic organization to continue to network and garner those meaningful connections across any range of leadership roles. Companies reflected, we have 13%, sorry, that are actually unspecified, so we don't know where they represent, but obviously we have some major health systems in New York represented with Northwell here at 10%, Mount Sinai at 8%. What you can't see from this graph, though, is that this is only the 15 top represented organizations. We actually have over 550 organizations that are part of our membership. And I think that's such a beautiful thing because really that accounts for nearly 1,300 members really that are, reflecting any number of these organizations. And I would be curious if we want to launch the next poll, Samia, what sector of healthcare, because we know it's not just about our major health systems, our hospitals, that our membership are avidly working. In which sector of healthcare do you serve? Samia, what are our results? 35% from ambulatory services. We have acute care. We have some education and consulting represented on the call today. Payers, providers. I'd be very curious if anyone from others, if you can drop in the chat, which area of healthcare are you working? It's great to see the diversity of our membership. Our membership is at 1,900 at today's date, but we are hoping to increase those numbers. We have a couple interventions that we've been putting out, mainly a reminder for our prorated discounts that are in place at the end of the year. Autumn is a great time to join HLNY because your membership for first year dues is actually covering the rest of 2024 as well as the entirety of 2025. There may be some of you as well. We created this little flyer that we shared at Mini Congress here on the left that shows how you navigate within ache.org to find out which chapter you're actually associated with that is automatically affiliated based off of your primary business address. Some individuals put their home address there as well. And so sometimes we have New Jersey residents that are actually part of the New Jersey chapter, but would like to be affiliated with the HLNY chapter. So have a look there. We have a couple final reminders as well. If you have colleagues that may be interested to be joining HLNY or you on the call are actually on the fence as well, again, take a note that we have those prorated fees starting from now to the end of the year. You may be able to seek reimbursement from your organization for your involvement in your annual membership for HLNY. We have several organizations like New York City Health and Hospitals, Mount Sinai, and others who are working to promote on a system level involvement with our organization, conversations around sponsorship, as well as supporting membership at large. So if you are interested in that, we're happy to help you. And volunteer interest, all of these highlights of the committees was really to garner interest and involvement for 2025. If you are interested, please email membership@hlny.org. We have a full list of interested members already, 25 plus individuals who are signed up for next year. If you have questions about the individual committees, you can reference the individual committee chairs as well as their emails here as points of contact. Again, more committees to get involved with even than we had time to cover in today's town hall. And with that, I would love to pass off to our next presenter who has a long tenure of experience serving and volunteering with our organization, our past president, Nick Bilas.
Thanks, Gina. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. And, it's as a past president, having had about 1,800 members at my tenure, it's really good to see that you and the board have continued growing that number past the 1,900 mark, and looking forward to 2,000 sometime soon. So tonight, I just want to share why investing your time in HLNY is one of the best decisions you can make for your professional growth and for the future of healthcare. I think what sets HLNY apart from other professional organizations is really sort of our multidisciplinary approach. While many groups focus on specific areas like IT or finance, HLNY brings together leaders from every sector of healthcare: operations, clinical care, finance, technology, and more. I think the diversity that we have here really creates like this really rich environment that we all learn from, where we can collaborate, develop sort of this really holistic understanding of the healthcare landscape. And HLNY doesn't just help us become experts in our individual fields. It helps us become well-rounded leaders who are better equipped to navigate the complexities of our industry. And things are changing and moving fast. So I want to share a personal experience that really illustrates the power of the unique community that we have here. When I was leading the admitting department at Memorial Sloan Kettering, I set out a vision for building an inpatient command center. And it was a significant undertaking built with really sort of potential challenges and pitfalls. Rather than going it alone, I turned to my network, many of whom I connected with through HLNY. I reached out to ACHE colleagues across the country to gain insights into their experiences in similar projects. I really received this really generous response of what their successes were, mistakes, lessons learned, really to sort of anticipate what the challenges are, what best practices are, and how to avoid some common pitfalls. The collaboration led to really the creation of a state-of-the-art command center, and it really sort of significantly improved our patient flow and operational efficiency. But the impact of HLNY in my career goes even deeper than that. The healthcare community is a small world, so maintaining these relationships is crucial. In fact, it was this very community that helped me put me in front of some of the leaders that I worked for over the last few years. And, I sort of really chalk up a lot of my success to what HLNY has taught me. One of those things being the power of choosing your own boss. You might wonder, what does that mean? It means positioning yourself so that the key influential leaders that you aspire to work for one day. You actively engage with them, whether it's through job opportunities, mentorship, advice. You have the opportunity to create a pathway past traditional methods like sending a resume into a void of online applications. The power of networking and learning far exceeds the uncertain hope of resume reaching a recruiter or passing an algorithm. Another critical aspect of HLNY is our dedication to fostering new talent and empowering the next generation of healthcare leaders. Identifying and supporting high potential leaders, like many chairing our committees today, and others on the board, is crucial for pushing our mission forward. These emerging leaders bring fresh perspective, innovative ideas that challenge us to think differently and strive for excellence. And by mentoring them, collaborating with them, providing opportunities for growth, we really ensure that HLNY and the healthcare industry as a whole continues to evolve and improve. So I encourage each of you to take advantage of what HLNY has to offer, actively engage, attend events, participate in discussions, volunteer for committees. The more you put into this community, the more you'll get out of it. Leverage the network, build, maintain relationships, reach out to fellow members for advice, collaborate, mentor. It's really a collective experience of our greatest assets that you can really leverage. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Use the HLNY network and connections to really connect with a lot of really key leaders. Take the time to mentor someone or learn from them. Investing in each other, we strengthen this community that I mentioned. And for existing members, HLNY is now in election season. So make sure you get your vote in, make sure that you vote for the candidates that you feel most passionately about. We've got a really strong ballot this year, so I'm really excited to see where the future of HLNY goes. In closing, we have a really unique platform that not only supports our individual growth, but also advances the broader field of healthcare. Remember that healthcare community is a small world, like I mentioned, and the relationships we build here can shape that trajectory of our careers, but also the future of our industry. So appreciate your time today and look forward to connecting.
Thank you so much, Nick. My name is Darren Daraj, and I'm your president-elect for Healthcare Leaders of New York. I'm going to go over the board positions up for elections this season, and then our events. Our president-elect is a 3-year term. It's 1 year as president-elect, 1 year as president, and then 1 year as immediate past president. The presidency is a 3-year term and commitment. The vice presidency is 1 year term. Secretary is 1 year term as well. Whereas our board members at large for Long Island and the New York region are both 2-year terms and commitments. We highly encourage you to participate, to vote. You're able to vote through the QR code on the screen. This is your chapter. Have your voices heard. Voting closes on Saturday, October 26th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Please vote and have your voices heard. You can use the QR code on the screen to vote now and share it with the rest of our membership to ensure your voices are heard for this election with this incredible ballot. I'm so proud to present some of the amazing events and programs that we've had over this year, led by incredible programs committee, Samia and Reshmi, Carl Marie, and myself, along with the rest of the board, really pulling together to answer and respond to our membership in having events at all of the locations that our members are located at and ensuring our pillars of education and advancement. We have 3 upcoming virtual 1.5 ACHE credited events coming up next week. Hilni, our group is presenting Falls into Success. Thank you. On Tuesday, October 15th, we have Building the Hospitals of Tomorrow, Rehabilitate, Renovate, or Replace. We have a great panel. Please join us Tuesday, October 15th, 6:30 to 8. In the same week, next week, Thursday, October 17th, we have our other credited virtual event, 6:30 to 8, digital health in the healthcare delivery system. Please join us again next week for these two virtually credited events. In November, Tuesday, November 12th from 6:30 to 8, we have another virtual event, ending our virtual event series for the fall, integrating acute to post-acute care settings. Where do we go from here? Please join us for that event. And in keeping with true Hillney fashion, our in-person events on Wednesday, October 30th from 6 to 9, Equity of Care at Hofstra University, answering our membership's call to have an event in Long Island. We're so excited to see you all there at this event. And at St. John's University from 6 to 9 o'clock on Tuesday, November 19th, we have our annual Frank Camerano Memorial Dinner and Lecture. We look forward to seeing you there to learn from this incredible panel of early careerists, moderated by the great Professor Fred Skanga. Once again, here are some of the upcoming events, virtual and in person, for Healthcare Leaders of New York, along with some additional community service and volunteer opportunities to continue to support our advancement efforts, along with ending our year on December 3rd with our annual holiday party, where we will also welcome and inaugurate our 2025 Healthcare Leaders of New York Executive Board. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we open it up for Q&A for our panel, our board members, and to hear your voices and answer your questions.
Thanks, Sharon. While folks are thinking, I just wanted to comment on the question that came in already. How do we sign up for the different committees? So feel free to email membership@hlny.org, and we'll put your name down with interest to volunteer for next year. If you have any particular committee that you do have your heart set on to volunteer with, please specify that. But if you're just generally interested to volunteer, we can set you up with the right committees and opportunities into next year. All right. Any other questions? Oh, we have another one here. Is LinkedIn the best way to keep up with events for the next year? Who would like to respond to that one?
I would say, please follow us on all of our social platforms, LinkedIn, our websites. I believe we have a social media as well. I think we have a slide with all of those social media handles. Follow us on those, and all of our events upcoming will be highlighted shortly.
Great. Any other last comments, questions, ideas? Well, before too many folks drop off, wanted to end us. Carl Marie or Darren, would you like to end us?
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining our Q4 Healthcare Leaders of New York membership town hall. Please follow us on the handles below. If there are any questions, please reach out to membership. Once again, this is your chapter. Please vote. Remember, voting is for members. And we look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events. Have a great night. If you don't mind, please fill out the last poll question as well. Sorry.